Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Suharyanto, and usually my friends, my colleagues, they call me Harry or Mr. Harry. And today I'm going to present my research in order to complete my works in Profunedu Progressive and Fun Education Seminar number 7 2022. And my research title is Teachers' Perception in Students' Characteristics and Teaching Strategies in English Learning Program in Higher Education, and this is a comparative study. Well, the presentation outline that I'm going to share to you is introduction, method, finding and discussion, and the last one is conclusion. Well, first, let me tell you about the introduction. Well, basically, my research is about comparative study in different study program in university. As we know that in university there are so many departments or specification that student can enter, and students apply in this university every years in various different department based on their specific interest. And in my introduction here, I would like to mention about medical and economic faculty that are the examples of the faculty which are really concerned with the English as the main subject, because English in this two faculty is really important, and it becomes one of the major course in this study program. And since the graduate of these two will be the main actors in challenging the Asian economic community, and this is why medical and economic faculty is going to be the subject of this research, by the way. However, English learning in higher education is not yet satisfying, since students learn English in limited time and there is no definite program for the English teaching program at higher education level. As the result, it cannot make students can use English to compete in the global world. Yeah, as we know that many study program, many background, many career ahead, so that's when the English itself need to be specified with their background. And however, so far the result of the learning English of the students in higher education is not satisfied yet. And the diversity of the students in higher education, of course, bring the complexity of English teaching and learning activity. Students from many different background of department in university will comes up with different styles, behavior, and motivation in learning English. As we know, of course, students from medical, students from economics, students of engineering, of course, they will have different style of learning, they will have different behaviors, and they will have different motivation. So it's going to be, we need to be, concerned with this kind of situation, yeah. And according to the researcher experience, students in medical department are more motivated to learn English rather than the accounting and management students. This is going, it's going to be the question in this research, by the way. Of course, teachers need to consider this diversity as the challenge that must be overcome. Teacher is the key of the teaching and learning process, and strategies and roles have the great impact on the quality of English learning process. So that's why in this research, me as a researcher try to to comprehend the diversity of these two study program between medical and also in economic faculty, in order to try to comprehend the way the teachers approach in teaching those students with those different style and behavior. And this method of my research is this is a comparative research, and the subject of this research, I took the medical and economic faculty in order to make a comparison. Because why? The question is why I choose these two study programs, since the medical and economic faculty, the input of the students in this study program is really different. Mostly from the medical students are from, for example, in senior high school, from the science class or IPA, and then the economic faculty mostly they are from social class. So that's why, of course, the behavior, the characteristic, the ability, the comprehension of the English is really different. So that's why in this research I choose these two study program to to be the subject of this research. And this research was conducted in Muhammadiyah University of Yogyakarta, UMY, and the participants of the study were 25 teachers who teach English in two different faculties. So I took 25 teachers, and all of the teachers here, mostly they have already done the teaching in those two different faculty, in medical and also in economic faculty. And English teachers in this is the English teachers in medical and economic faculty. And the method or the data collection that I use here is interview and also the observation. And the finding and discussion, actually this is the qualitative research based on the interview from 25 teachers that I have already conducted. There are some kind of characteristic that I found in the medical faculty students here, like mostly the students from medical faculty, they have high English proficiency, they are hard worker, and they are diligent, highly motivated, well-mannered, active, and goal-oriented. This is the percentage of that I found during the interview regarding the characteristic of the students. Mostly those 25 teachers mentioned this kind of characteristic just during the interview conducted. And then in economic faculty, mostly the characteristic that I found during the interview with the teachers is the students that they have been thought are very passive, however, they are also sociable. It means that they like to work in pair, they like to work in group rather than working individual. So that's why sociable can be defined as one of the characteristic of the economics faculty students. And also they are well mannered. However, also I found the characteristic in economic faculty students is they are very low motivated in learning English. And also because the teacher that I interviewed has already teaching in economic and also medical student, they can say that economic faculty is they have low proficiency in English rather than the comparing with the students from medical faculty. And also in economic faculty, I found during the interview also, the students are contextual learner. It means that they tend to like to learn some material from the contextual materials, something like that. Yes, and then the teacher strategy in dealing with the student diversity. They mention for this kind of strategy that they use here. Number one is teaching media, teaching topic, and then teaching activity, and the last one, the use of mother tongue. In teaching media itself, teachers agree that they needed to use various teaching media to attract students' attention, such as the movie, YouTube video, poster, podcast, and etc. They do really agree with that. And then in the teaching topic, teachers still try to improvise the topic of the materials to be matched with the students' background, because as we know, the materials on the English that was given in the class of both in medical and also economic faculty was, what is that? General English. So that's why here the teacher tried to match the topic of the materials in some meeting with the students' background. For example, in medical faculty, they try to find some text regarding to the medical treatment, the way how to make a surgeon, and etc. While in the in the economic faculty, mostly the teacher try to find some text, some listening activity, which is also based with the background of the economic students, like maybe stock exchange and etc. And then the teaching activity, teachers provided various teaching activities to make students more motivated in learning English. And yeah, the last one is the use of mother tongue. All the teachers who teach in whether in medical, also in economic faculty, they use Indonesian during the classroom. However, the frequency of the usage is different. So this is the comparison that I can manage between these students in economic and also in medical student. In economic faculty, mostly student listening and reading activity were more frequently used, while in medical, reading, listening, speaking, and writing activity were all good. And then the topic in economic, the topic of the material was adapted with their background. Same with the medical actually, the topic of the material was adapted also with their background. And then in economic, fun activity such as games, video discussion, etc. is more interested for the students. While in the medical, challenging activities such as writing essay, presentation, and public speaking was well conducted here. So it's a little bit different regarding to the type of the activity here. And then in the use of mother tongue or first language was frequently used during the class in economic, while in medical it was not frequently used during the class, since as we know the proficiency level of the medicals can be said that mostly they are a little bit higher than economic students. Yeah, and then in economic, group work assignments were more interesting for the students, while the medical student, individual and group work assignment, both activity were okay, sorry. And then in economic, multimedia such as video, social media, PowerPoint were highly recommended, while in medical, multimedia such as video, social media, PowerPoint were highly recommended. Well, basically, both economic and medical have the same characteristic regarding to the multimedia materials here, like video, social media, and PowerPoint. I think because they are the students both in this medical and economic is quite interesting with this kind of type of activity and also materials. And then after that, the teacher's role here was really important during the teaching and learning, based on the teacher perspective here. Regarding with the diversity of the students, teacher need to perform themselves in various roles regarding with the students' characteristic and needs. Teacher style will be diverse, and it will bring the big impact to the result of the learning process. And from the interview and then from the discussion, here we can, as a researcher, I can say that the teacher's role in economic faculty mostly are controller, participants, performer, prompter, and tutor, while the teacher's role in medical faculty mostly are resource, organizer, tutor, observer, and also assessor. And the conclusion from the discussion and finding that I have here, I can make a conclusion that teaching strategy is really crucial part in higher education with various characteristics of the students. In terms of topic, English teachers in higher education prefer to connect the materials with the student's specific background of the study program. While discussing some specific topic related to the workplace or entrepreneurship is suitable for teaching students in higher education, since their focus is already set up, especially related to their future career. Textbook need to be made based on the needs analysis of the students from the different study program. Yeah, because we know that as an economic student or a medical student, they must think about what kind of English that they are going to use after they graduate or after they have a job, right? For example, after they graduate, they need to do, for example, they work in the hospital, and during the work, they need to understand what type of English that really used here. So that's why the textbooks or the material in the textbook itself need to be need to be arranged, need to be provided based the reality that they are going to face in the in the workplace after they graduate. And here we do not forget also that the teacher's role are based on the student's characteristic and needs. As we know, teacher's role is really important, and based on the characteristic of the student, based on the student's need, teachers must understand what types or what kind of roles that they need to perform during teaching and learning activity. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all for my presentation, for my research. I hope that it can bring the new insight from everyone's here, and I do really hope that maybe you can give some suggestion and also some idea regarding my research in order to make my research to make it better. Well, thank you so much. That's all from me. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.